It says we're live.
Good
Well, that's
evening,
good.
everybody.
Welcome to another episode of The Shit Show. How you doing, Howard? I am your host, Stax, X YouTube and Rumble. Watch on YouTube. We need a few more watch hours so we can get the channel monetized. Um, I have some awesome guests today, some of my most favorite people from the internet, Tom and Emily from Restored Christendom. Say hello, people.
Hello, everybody.
We also have the little one. Is
Yeah.
she say anything? Is she vocal?
She'll make noises.
The goo goo gagas are still a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Maria, what are you doing? Is she?
Okay, that's weird. Well, we're probably just going live on YouTube for some reason. Rumble
Okay.
seems to be down. It is what it is. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then
Oh.
connecting, and then
Oh, there you go.
Tom and Emily just dropped out. I don't know what that is.
We're here.
We're not allowed to talk about anything at all tonight.
It would appear
You guys
not.
are being censored. There's a censorship happening. We always start the show with a quick prayer. So, Lord, God, our words tonight, help us do your will now and forever. Amen. Okay. Drew is going to try to stop in later. He had an animal medical emergency. So he's at the vet clinic with his cat, and hopefully everything is all right. And if he gets back in time, he's going to join us probably towards the end.
Okay.
So do you want to tell? I'm a little off base after trying to figure out what just happened and why Rumble's not working. But
Oh
do you
no.
guys want to tell and the people where they can find you if you're still streaming? Because I've noticed lately that there hasn't been a lot of streams, and I'm sure the reason is sitting on Emily's lap. So, do you
Yeah.
guys want to give any kind of update, heads up, introduce the little one or something?
Absolutely. Yeah. Restore Christendom. You can find us on X. We're not really doing a whole lot of anything right now, like you said, because of the newborn. Well,
I'm in a time warp. Anybody who has children knows like that first chunk of time is like every day is a new day, but it's the same day. And you're just trying to make it from one feeding to a diaper change to a nap to the next.
Yeah, we're hoping in the next couple months she'll be the point where we can lay her down right next to us here while we do a show.
Yeah. And
So
also, we're going to be moving the studio into the office.
yeah,
So it'll be a different setup, which will be more conducive to having her. Currently, we're sitting in bar stools
right behind a bar.
behind a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very high.
It's not the most ideal child-friendly place. And then in front of us is an entire wall of equipment. So, yeah.
Yeah,
We have some
big studio
rearranging to
lights
do.
and multiple monitors.
Yeah.
Well, how is everything though? Since you guys haven't had a chance to go live, everything's well, I assume.
Yeah.
Everything's
great.
going real well. I'm working a lot lately, and
Got work that does work, and I've got a small flower garden this year. It's very sad, very hobby garden. I'm only doing this to keep my neighbors happy, which makes me a little sad, but it gives me something to do. So, and Maria, her name is Maria.
Maria, that's a good name.
Yeah, and she enjoys going outside with me. Yesterday she did 30 minutes in her little kangaroo jumper thingy. It's like the exerciser, but on bungee straps.
Yeah.
She has a good time in it. I just picked it up, so it's fun.
That's cool.
She gets to do all kinds of new stuff.
Yeah.
Which are just boring everyday things.
No, these are the times right now. Like they really are.
Absolutely are.
Yeah, like these are the best times.
Yeah.
Trust me, I get it. It's like it's kind of overwhelming. Patrick says hello.
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Shouts.
Mr. Shouts. Good to see you.
Yeah, I mean, like I think back on it now, and I'm like, I'm sure you guys know as well, but they grow up so fast, and these are the times, you look back and you start thinking about the little one that was there at one point, and now it's a holy terror running around the house, breaking everything.
Yeah. With the teenage one, I think of that. Like, there's times where I'm like rocking her to sleep, and I'm like, "It's okay, Maria. One day you too will hide in your room and think I have leprosy, and avoid me at all costs, and only seek me for travel arrangements to your friends whom you actually enjoy their company. One day it will happen, but for now, I'm enjoying this."
Wow, it's a blessing regardless. I'm
Yeah.
glad to see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
You
pretty good.
you brought up your garden real quick.
Yeah.
It just made me think of this. You sent me some seeds that a while back that were like mint seeds.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I threw them in my garden and they started growing and it's pretty cool. But I found out that they were like catnip mint.
Oh, okay.
Another use for that is that it keeps the ticks away.
Oh, handy. Okay, cool.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little something there. I didn't really know it at first, but it started growing. The funny part was I threw the seeds in the ground. Whole year went by, nothing grew. The
Yep.
following year, then they grew.
Then they pop out.
Yeah, and I looked it up, and it's a catnip mint. It's like what they use in the bags, and we're gonna try and put it all around, all over the place now. Get
Mhm.
it growing everywhere because it also keeps ticks away. They don't like it.
Yeah, so
I should probably look up the name.
the best way that I found to spread it where you wanna spread it is to let it go to flower. So, like, let it get nice and tall and bushy, because 'cause they'll get, like, 4 or 5 foot tall. I have them in my front because I know that they're good for keeping mosquitoes away. So I have that and lemon balm planted around.
Yeah.
So the best way to do it is to let them get big and bushy and go to flower, which will feed the bees and, all sorts of good stuff. But then once they do that and they go to seed, you just cut them and send the children out with a handful of them and just shake them everywhere. And all those thousands of little teeny tiny poppy seed-sized seeds will go, and then the winter will come, and then next year they'll pop up, rinse and repeat. You'd have a whole
Yep.
mint forest if you wanted.
Um, Very true. I've been warned against them after I planted them that they would be hard to get rid of if you
They'll
wanted
go
to get rid of them.
I was gonna say they'll go wild,
Yeah.
but they keep mosquitoes and apparently ticks away, so, like, why would you want them to go away?
Oh, right, right. Uh,
But
it
yes, it does.
it's
It'll take
weird.
over.
The name is like Nepa cataria is the name of the plant. I didn't even know that. Um, but anyway, yeah, like it was one of them happy mistakes because I didn't really know what it was until it started growing. Turns out it's going to be a big benefit for because like you said, I'm going to put it in the woods. Once we can
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
pieces, I'm going to put it everywhere so it grows. Ticks like that's a thing. We with the chickens, they tend to annihilate the chicks. I mean the ticks. They go around and that's all they do all day is scratch and peck all day, and
Yep,
they tend to
they'll find it.
really knock that population down. But if you walk into the woods where they don't go,
It's
you're
game
going to
over.
be picking them off you.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea to get it all around the property. I'm a little off base today because the weather has been insane.
Yeah.
I work outside most days, and I'm telling you that I'm surprised I'm still upright. I can't. You know, like when you've had such a day where it's been so brutal, and you feel like you sweat every bit of juices out
Everything
of
you
you.
have. Yeah.
That like it's actually hard to form a thought. It was one of those days for 2 days in a row now. It's
Ugh.
been brutal. It's been absolutely brutal.
Yeah, it's been real hot here. It's been super humid here too. Like the last couple mornings, I've woken up and I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna be a nice sunny day today. I'm gonna ride the motorcycle," but it's like 96% humidity outside. Like you get wet just being out there. I was like,
Yeah.
"I'm not going to show up to work all wet because I rode my motorcycle today."
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Um,
be in hairdryer weather on your ride home.
Oh yeah, and then yeah, riding home in the 90+ degree heat is and humid is never fun because it feels like somebody's blowing a hair dryer on you. It's not refreshing in any way.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I get in my van, my work van. It's a really big van, but it's crazy because if I'm wearing my sunglasses and I got the AC on, as soon as I step outside, I can't see. The sunglasses instantly fog up.
Yeah, yeah, that's all
Oh,
that
yeah. Game
humidity.
over.
Yep.
It's so crazy, so crazy. I wanted to ask you about the weather out there, but real quick, I wanted to share something before it goes a little sideways and I try to squeeze it in some other way. Um, I was at a I was at a house doing a service, and there it was like a minor repair for this service. And I was standing there looking at the box, trying to figure out, what it is that I need to do with this thing. So I'm gonna show you the quick video that I took of it. I can't even remember if there's audio for this, but if you look up in that corner, that's a whole shitload of honeybees.
Oh damn, yeah.
Now,
In
dude,
between the siding and the
Chimney.
chimney.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
How
like
does
it
the homeowner
behind
not
this
hear that?
wall, behind all that siding. It's difficult in the video. It doesn't really show it, but it's like pushed out from the hive. And I didn't notice it at first, but as I'm walking up to it, I can hear this buzzing, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Is
the
this the
bump.
socket?" I'm thinking
Yeah,
it's the socket. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking it's like there's something
oh
going
no,
on with this socket.
a lizard got in here.
Yeah. Um, so I'm like looking around, and I can't figure out what that noise is. And I go to do the repair. Now you see that propane torch over there. I went to use it, and those bees did not like that at all.
Oh,
They were fine. Like I'm telling you, they were fine. There was no problem at all. They just let me sit there and work. The second I lit that torch, I got stung twice on
Oof.
my neck, like real quick, like bang bang. And like I panic and I stepped off. I'm gonna get rid of this now. I stepped off of it and I walked backwards. And here's the crazy part. This is why I wanted to share this. Um, I practiced jujitsu for a couple years off and on, and I was in a sparring ring at one point, and there was something that happened to my neck, and it was like a reoccurring thing. Like it didn't hurt all the time, almost like arthritis in a way. It was like a crunch, and it's it never really stops hurting now, but it just you forget about it for a little bit, or like
mhm.
it ramps up. Those bees stung me right on that injury.
Oh.
With within 20 minutes though, the injury I couldn't feel it anymore. There was no more pain.
Huh.
So
So
there's
I'm
been
like,
some.
yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I look it up, and that's actually a medicinal thing that like it gets rid of inflammation.
Yeah,
Okay.
the natural adrenaline and histamine response that your body sends once you get the sting can counteract anything that's been there. They've started doing like massive bee sting therapies for Lyme disease. That's
Mhm.
been something that they've been toying around with that I'm aware of.
So I looked it up on Grok. Oh shit. I'm sorry. I just hit the X button like a dummy. See, it's not one of these days for me. Anyway, I looked it up on Grok, and yeah, you're right. There's a whole litany of stuff that they use it for that they assume it can be used for. One of the main things was inflammation. What am I doing?
There we
Jeez.
go.
Inflammation. They say that you can treat cancer cells with it. Like there's all kinds of stuff like that. But I mean, I had heard weird stuff like that before. But I'm telling you, like they stung me right on my neck, right almost in the same area, a little bit high of where I had my injury, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Eh?
That's the craziest thing to me now. I did
If
you
it carries into tomorrow and the next day, then we might be onto something.
I mean, I'm glad just for the
Just
intermediate
for the just for
relief.
the day's worth of relief, yeah.
It's it's one of those things that like, you could see it on the internet. They do these treatments with
Oh, yeah,
with
absolutely.
bee venom.
Firsthand.
Neff Hunter, how are you, brother? Um, they do these, you think bee venom treatment. It's one of those things, holistic medicine. You think that, it maybe it does work, but maybe it does. I'm telling you, for me, unexpectedly, that shit worked. Like, it was crazy to me. I'm still kind of like, wow, there's merit to some of that shit. So for whatever it's worth, maybe don't go intentionally to go and piss off bees and get stung, but I did it accidentally and it
Right.
works.
Yeah, the chances of them stinging you in the right spot,
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
don't just go out and piss off bees. Never a good
There was, I'm not joking, I was just estimating. You can see, like, the entrance is all up and down the side of that. And I actually had bees for a little bit. And, the more bees there are, the bigger the hive at the entrance. And just judging from the noise when I was there, I'm estimating like tens of thousands of bees in there. And my main concern was that if they're Africanized, I'll probably be dead. Like, because I don't know if you know anything about the Africanized honeybees,
Yeah.
but they do not fuck around. Like,
No.
they'll chase you into your car, and they'll just keep stinging and stinging and stinging.
Yeah, they don't care. We have those in Texas.
But apparently they're European bees. So funny how that works out, right? Like, Africanized, more violent, European, not so violent.
Right.
Just
There's a
trying to
correlation there.
pollen and honey and, just live in this house's siding. That's all we're trying to do.
But we were talking a little bit before the show, and you mentioned something I found very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
What about the weather out there? Because I that's fascinating to me.
For Illinois, thus far in 2026, we have had 1,000 tornadoes. So that currently puts us as tornado capital. So that's a fun fact for you.
Yeah, Tornado Alley seems to have shifted east a little bit.
Yes.
It's usually like Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and this year really seems to have been like Missouri, Illinois, Indiana
Yeah.
has been hit really bad.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Like, do you have any ideas? Like, what's
Oh,
happening?
The Jews just changed the weather modification, and
Yeah.
now I don't know, man. That's as likely as answer as any.
Did you know they shut off CERN not that long ago, like 3 days ago?
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't.
They shut down the CERN collider. I've been trying to look for anomalies now to see if anything changes, because they've been saying for years that it's on and it's doing weird stuff, So
Well, if it's off now, then we should be shifting back to normal. Like everything should kind of like be settling.
I would hope so. I don't know what normal even is anymore. We've been
Right.
in such chaos for so long that I'm
Right.
not even sure what normal looks like, if there ever even was such a thing.
Yeah, I don't know that there ever was such a thing as really normal. I think there's just different layers of facade to the world, but I don't know, man. It's
Well, I love the ideas that the Jews and their space lasers had some
it's got to be
involvement.
the using their space lasers, man. Like who else could do it?
Yeah. But just for the record, because I'm not from Illinois, I've never heard it before. Tornadoes at all are not normal, or 1,000 tornadoes are not normal.
1,000 are not normal. Like tornadoes in Illinois are normal.
Yeah.
But not to the extent that we've seen them.
Let me see if I can find them.
Like I said, like Tornado Alley, like I said, it's a very specific area of the U.S. and it's almost this year like it just directly moved east, X amount of miles. I don't know. Weird.
It is weird.
These
are the things I'm talking about, the weather patterns. Like, I'm trying to find the anomalies from CERN. I'm trying to figure out, if there's any correlation.
Yeah, I don't know if the weather patterns have much to do with CERN. Maybe
I don't even know.
Maybe all that Mandela effect kind of stuff has to do with CERN. Why all of a sudden it's like we live in a reality we don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There is a gnat. I'm losing my mind. I don't know that it has an effect. I do find it all very strange, though. The entire thing. I think it has the possibility to be something very strange. The more strange things I see from it, though, is that they put Shiva out in front of it, the goddess of destruction.
Yeah.
and other things. Um, and then they did some kind of mock ritual out in front of it as well. And far be it for me to know for sure what the hell's going on with that, but I see it and I'm like, doesn't seem normal, you know?
Yeah. It seems like I mean, this is just a theory, a guess, just whatever. But if I had to guess what they were actually doing there at CERN, it would be, I would say, trying to rip the veil between, the our world and say the, for lack of better word, spirit world, the um
Primordial goo, the dark matter of it all.
yeah, to contact the demons, if you would.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Trying to, I think that's something more to do with that. I'm not really explaining it well, but you know what I'm saying.
I get it. I get it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I was just reading Enoch for a bit. But it's funny. I don't put a lot of weight in the book. But the parallels are somewhat fascinating when you start to read it. And one of the parts in that book that just jumped out at me when you were saying that was when he refers to the physical bodies of what we would call demons being locked away somewhere. Some people actually say that it's in the ocean floor. I have no idea if that's true,
The bottom of the
but like the bottom of the ocean.
bottom of the Euphrates River.
Is that what you assume?
No, that's like the conspiracy theorists. That's where all the demons are locked up, is at the bottom of the Euphrates. And the Euphrates drying up like 4 years ago now. That was like a sign.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
So here's what I'll add to what when you hear the description in the book. I don't even know how we got here, but I'm just going with it. In the description in the book, it refers to black, flat ground, and then a door, and the fire going down, and the smoke, the black smoke being a thing. If you can imagine the bottom of the ocean and lava vents,
Yeah.
when I read that, it's sort of like what I read. Now in the South Atlantic Ocean, they lidar'd the ocean, and there is anomalies down there that they cannot account for. It was a Norwegian vessel that I don't even know how I'm remembering all this right now. I'm telling you the truth. It's just all just spewing out. But there was a Norwegian vessel that lidar'd the bottom of the ocean, and they found this big anomaly where there are ocean volcanic vents. And stuff down there that they can't figure out what it is, way down at the bottom of the ocean.
Is this
Like
like
because when
the
they,
Pacific Rim area?
it could be, it
Okay.
definitely could be. Uh, all I know for sure is whenever I read it, it said South Atlantic Ocean, so it definitely could be that. I don't know. But what like the interesting part that I thought about was like I read this article a long time ago. Norwegian vessel lidars the bottom. They tried to hide the information, the Norwegian government. They had to FOIA, like their version of FOIA, to get them to release it, which took a really long time. What it ended up being is that they LiDAR'd something that they can basically know what most things are down there. Like whenever they LiDAR the ocean, no matter what it is, whether it's organic or rock or whatever, they usually know how to tell what that is. They hit a big anomaly that they can't figure out. And I just thought, when you read the description in that book and then you add some things together and it's like, oh, maybe it could be the ocean floor. Now I started saying that because the physical bodies of the things that we would call demons are allegedly locked away in this place, wherever it is, but their spirits can pierce through that veil.
Yeah.
So that's what we end up seeing if it's true. I'm just alleging things. I'm not making any claims. I'm just saying I put some things together in my head after some years of reading some things, and I'm like, that's not impossible to imagine that it could be, right?
That's what
Uh,
was being described, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, and,
I
yeah,
don't know. Um,
yeah.
I
So
honestly try not to think about all that stuff too much because, like, I don't know. I just I never know. You know what I mean? Like it's all fun to look into, but you know, you never know. Um,
And even if they did, e even if they would have released the information when we first asked about it, or even if they were to come back and tell us, "Oh, yeah, it turns out it's just lava tunnels, guys." Would we believe them at this point?
Also, big parts of me nowadays think when stuff like this happens, it's all just controlled nonsense anyway. It's all an op again. You know what I mean? It's an op on an op.
Basically, time sucks.
Yes. I have the
Time and
same
resource
feeling.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, we're gonna pretend that we found this thing, and then we're gonna pretend that we're hiding it, and then you're gonna force us to release it, and it's all gonna be just speculate. Yeah, I don't know. Part of I just
But the
I have
fact
I have
that
little faith that everything is an op nowadays, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean?
Yep, I get the same feeling actually. I feel like the whole idea of even the conspiracy community has been sort of co-opted in a way where they put this I don't know, they put the wildest claims that don't make any sense that make it to the mainstream so that anything remotely close to that is now considered crazy talk instead of anybody actually looking at anything.
yep,
Also, I think it's just another way of them fucking with us. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah,
just
and
another
then
way of them fucking with
aliens.
us. Yeah,
Aliens too.
yeah.
never ever forget about the aliens. They're always the backup plan.
That bothers me the most is the aliens thing. It
Yeah.
really does. Um, I can see that one. I can tell that that's some kind of I don't know what the ultimate goal would be, but I can tell that there's something about that they're going to try to use. I don't really know what it could be.
It's gonna get everybody to go along with whatever nonsense they wanna go along with, because the aliens are gonna tell you to. It's how we became a better people. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, until our race decided to do this and come together and diversity and unity and whatever, we were just like you, and now look at us traveling the galaxies.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just I don't know.
You don't know. I don't know either. I don't know either.
I mean,
Um,
it could go anyways, right? Like, at this point with the information being as malleable as it is and also as widely available as it is, they can change like, the aliens could be a good thing, and then 10 minutes later, they could be the worst thing ever, but the whole time, like, they're kind of alright, but then also you're never gonna convince some people that they're even there. Like, it's just this we've fractured so much. It's almost like a Tower of Babel situation, like, eerily similar to where there's just so many different realities coexisting, and we're all being told to follow this one very specific narrative that only a handful of people live day to day, which is, like,
but
crazy.
every time somebody brings up the Tower of Babel, this thought pops into my head about the current events happening now and what the claims were back then about the reason why it was destroyed. You know, one world government, one language, and the thing that pops out in my head the most was the language. I mean, the corruption of flesh, animal and human. And when you see what they're trying to do in the scientific community, Elon Musk is trying to get a mini mammoth as a pet. Um, like they're trying to manufacture things
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
weren't
We
there.
we talked about, that wolf that they brought back.
The direwolf, yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's always just it just pops into my head and it's like, aren't they doing the same thing now?
Yeah,
If that happened back then, aren't they doing the same thing now?
and like the moral of the story also was like they were trying to build a tower to heaven to be like God. It's like,
Not to go up and hang out with him, not to go up and be like, "Hey, man, we really appreciate all that you did for us, and it's really cool. Look what we could do. Look how great you are."
yeah,
It was like, "No, no, if we get up there, we could be him."
but essentially that's what we're trying and claiming to do with AI. You know what I mean? Become gods.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean, we're already trying to manipulate genes and do other things to be like gods, and now we're this artificial intelligence that will replace God because it will be the all knowing, all powerful thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's very clear what they're trying to do. Um, and and even when you get to the biblical, like and you talk about the end times and the old gods coming back, and I mean that is more obvious today now than ever.
Yes.
Um, It's funny, and it just like a small example is like the World Cup's happening right now. I know as we're as America, nobody follows soccer, but um if you look at like Team Mexico jerseys, now like an old Team Mexico jersey would have like Our Lady of Guadalupe on it. The modern ones now have this Aztec theme. You know what I mean? Like because Mexicans are trying to reclaim the old gods and get away from Christianity and Catholicism. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's just very blatant right there with the soccer jerseys. Um,
Not to mention, like any young white dude with a beard is definitely for sure Viking heritage, old gods, Thor and Odin.
oh no, yeah, the amount of people I
MIA.
see walking around with the Thor hammers necklaces. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I understand it's these people don't necessarily believe in Thor or worship Thor. Or some of
No,
them,
but like
but you're still
you're repping it.
that's the thing you're doing, man. You're gonna have to answer for.
Yeah.
Um,
You're repping it, and it's not like Odin's gonna ignore you because you're half-assed, you know what I mean? Like, it's not you're not gonna get half points because you're only doing it because it's cool.
yeah,
It still
I don't
carries the
know.
same acknowledgments.
But yeah, I don't know, man. We're living in strange times, real strange times.
It is it's fascinating because the dude, I'm trying to find it real quick as I'm talking, but Noah Harari, I think his name is, something like
Sounds
that,
right.
from the WEF, the World
Mhm.
Economic Forum.
Noel Harari?
Noah Harari. Noah
Alright.
Yuval Noah Harari is his name.
Yeah.
So as I'm talking, I'm going to try and bring up the one that I'm looking for. But one of the things that he says is that the scientists will build the ark for when the flood comes, whatever that is exactly supposed to mean in his mind, and that AI is. I'm trying. I wish I could. I'm gonna continue to look for it, but it's something. The era of free will is over. Um, but I bring that up because there's also a part where he talks about how controlling the narratives. I think this might be it. Um, controlling the narratives, just it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Just getting people to control the narratives.
Yeah, they've been doing that
Uh,
for years.
I find that shit fascinating because most people don't understand it like at all.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah, no,
see.
that's all you've been seeing in American politics for the last decade or better is it's just narrative control. It has nothing to do with what's true and what's false. We all know it's false, everything they put on the news, but as long as they get enough people to believe it and can control the narrative about it.
Yeah. God damn it. I don't even know how we got to this exact point. When you have enough data, you need to send soldiers to control a country. So they're building the data centers everywhere. And my assumption is because, it's going to be for that reason to they want to be able to get as much data on everybody as they can to be able to predict any kind of future control. Look at that. We will control them through computer games and drugs.
Yeah,
Isn't that fun?
it's essentially what the world is. I don't know too many people that aren't on some type of medication and don't play video games. I'm in fact, people look at me like some kind of weirdo because I don't play video games.
I don't. I can't even tell you the last time I played a video games.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that shit.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Um,
Um,
but either way, I mean, they did that years ago. Everybody's on Adderall or Ritalin or some type of SSRI,
Zoloft.
and they're sitting around playing video games.
yeah. I tend to agree. There's one frickin' thing that I really wanted to try and find because it's exactly what we were just talking about. Um, as far as them wanting to, use AI to control certain narratives or what have you. I'm getting a little bored with trying to find it. But the point is that's I see a lot of it. It's the same reason that I bring up the whole idea of the Book of Enoch and piercing the veil and understanding what's happening around you, and realizing that there are people trying to manipulate you, but most people are just in tuned with soccer matches and football, or they don't care about anything at all.
They don't mind that they're being manipulated. They're having a great time.
What you got there, Tom?
Oh,
So Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare tenure
Ah,
bourbon.
you know, I'm coming up on something like 14 years. I haven't had a drop of alcohol.
Damn,
Well, they're in
good
the.
for you.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah,
That's
I
impressive.
can't believe it. I don't even miss it. I used to drink like every single day. I don't even miss it anymore.
yeah. I drink most days. But I can't even tell you the last time I was drunk.
I'm assuming that's why you went and got it because Cubertimo was
Yeah,
referring
yeah.
to
It's
it.
talking shit. So
Not that it matters right now, but we could play Banger Bucks, but I feel like I'm just gonna pay Q $10 again.
What's
Um,
Banger Bucks? Remind me.
Banger Bucks is a thing that I started. Uh, it's sort of there was a lot of people talking shit in the chat for a long time and on a lot of different people, and some of it was aimed at Drew, and some of them were real bangers.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
so I said, if you Rumble rant $1 or two, I will put those. We'll bring them up at the end of the show, and the best one, I'll send you $10 on PayPal or Zelle or something like that. And Q is the one that is been in there every single time. Other people have tried, but yeah, every single time it's been Q.
Yeah, Q usually has some very good ones. Good ones.
yeah, good shit talker.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I was gonna try to get audio of her making happy baby noises, but I can't get my microphone down there.
Emily, did you want me to bring up the hotspot things that you sent me?
Oh, no, that's fine. It was
Okay.
yeah, just the tornado stuff for Illinois.
This is really a shit show tonight. I'm telling you, I am out of it, dude.
Yeah, no, me and you both. But I've been working 11, 12-hour days, 5, 6 days a week for a couple 3
Pretty
months
much
now.
since he went back to work, yeah.
Yeah. So it's killing me. I hear you.
I get a long weekend this week. We get
Yeah, me
off
too.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it badly.
Oh yeah, I get Friday, Saturday, Sunday off this week, and I desperately need the 3
The
days.
3-day, yeah. Yeah, because
Um,
only having the 1 day off a week and it goes quick, that 1 day.
Yeah, especially since you got to go to mass, and we usually it's a hour and 15 minutes back and forth the Latin mass.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, so 3 hours every day is driving.
yeah.
um,
Well, 2 and a
on
half.
Sundays, Jules has asked me to come on to their Gods of the Morning Wood show, which is we were talking about that other stuff earlier with Odin and all that, and that's what they do. They're occultists, and they talk about that stuff while I'm on the show, and I sit there and I listen, and I'm like, fascinating. This is very, very fascinating to listen to. And like, I still am kind of clueless about why he wanted me to be on there. So I just, sit down and throw out questions every once in a while to try to understand what they're saying. But you are definitely right about the idea of that paganism making a comeback, because they have an audience that watches it religiously, and there's 3 or 4 of them that are, they call themselves occultists.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, I know it's out there because, like, when we lived in Washington State, every freaking girl out there every girl with a nose ring on the West Coast has a tarot deck. That bitch does. And she's got some crystals, some magic shiny rocks. You know what I mean? Like, they're all one brand of weirdo. I myself included at one point. Yeah.
yeah.
Glass houses and stones, Emily.
Yeah, no, I know. Moonwater and the whole bit.
No,
Like,
I
it's
know.
all,
I lived through it. I know.
I
So
remember.
it gets
I
pretty
mean,
out there. But
I'm not one to like I think everybody's on their own path. And like I'm not one where, like, if it's not a direct confrontation with me, I'm not going to be fighting with you about whatever you think is real or what God is. It's not my place. I don't care. I can just tell you my experience, and I don't, but I'll listen, and I intuitively start picking up on things like I've heard this before. And yeah, like I've been there too, where it's like you try to find I think everybody's trying to find a connection with God. And when you're younger, you're sort of rebelling against what what was already there. Like, because most people come from some kind of Catholic background or Christian background, and then you start to rebel against that, and you try to look at alternatives, and like people walk their own path. So far be it for me to be like you're wrong and I'm right, because if I was in their shoes, I wouldn't. It wouldn't affect me any if somebody told me that. It wouldn't change my mind.
Right, yeah.
Um,
It would be one
so
of
I
the
like to
800
just
people that have
I
already
like
said
to sit and listen. I like to sit and listen. I want to hear it out. I want to hear you say the wild things that you believe. And I'll tell you the one story that he started on. He was in West Virginia, and I'm in Pennsylvania, and the Appalachian Mountains are a different place than where people are normally from in any other part of the world.
Yeah.
You do not go outside at night by yourself, without a flashlight, without a weapon, and you especially do not talk to things when you hear voices.
Nope, and you
And
don't
Yep.
whistle either.
he's telling me that he's in West Virginia making contact with something in the woods. And I'm like, listen, I'm from this area.
Don't do that.
Do not talk to it. If something talks to you, you do not talk to it. Like, you turn around and walk away, because there is things here in the mountains that, like, it's unexplainable and it's real. You can feel it when it's happening. It's almost like I described to him. It feels like there's something just beyond your sight in the dark.
Mhm.
Whenever there's something present, there's something about the mountains that's real.
No, I've had a few, not many. I spent well over a decade backpacking through the Cascade Mountains in Washington State, all over. Every single weekend, 3 days a week. It was really like for over a decade, me and my buddy. And there was a handful of times, maybe three or four, but there's three or four instances where, like, yeah, I was just like, nope, 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 nope. And it's not like, oh, you're just out there by yourself. And I'm like, no, I do this all the time. I'm used to being out here by myself. This is something different.
Yeah, yeah.
I've literally just packed up and left and just hiked as fast as I could, like literally a full day out from what I just went in, just because, like, no, no.
Yeah. That, Tom, I'm telling you, I know it sounds like I know from your experience, but
Yeah.
it is well known that, like, especially if you're like, let's just say, I'll give you an example. If there's somebody like in a trailer off in a very rural area, you look out the window one time, and if you don't see a person, you do not continue to look. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like, if it knows that it sees you and you see it and it knows, it's not leaving.
Now it's got your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. It knows that you can hear and see it, and it'll be back, and do not play around with that stuff. But I was trying to explain it to him. I'm like, you're in a different area than what you're used to, and around here we don't antagonize and try to make contact and make friends with these things, because I'm telling you that there's something that lurks around these areas, and it's real, and you just don't do that. Um, but I'll tell you, one time I have a night vision PVS 14 little
Mhm.
monocular. I don't know
Yep.
if you're familiar with those.
I
Sometimes
have.
you can mount it on a helmet or headgear or something. And when you look through those, the only thing that will illuminate is if you have like the flashlight that's IR
Yep.
on.
Infrared. Yeah.
And it has to be reflective for it to be shown back. Very few frequencies. Like, there's different situations where you can pick up stuff. Point being is that I'm looking through this, looking for predators in the field, and I don't have any IR light on. And as I'm looking, I can see an orb. You should not be able to see this with the night vision. It's just not going to happen. Because I've had it for years. I know how this thing works. You don't see things like this. And there was an orb that, like, traveled just over the height of the grass, kind of floating and moving, but sort of going with the grass. And, right away I'm thinking it's an anomaly. Maybe it's picking up an eye from an animal that's moving. So I put the white light out there, nothing there. Like, I mean, I got this big, heavy, it's a short fire light. It lights up the whole damn thing. So I'm looking and I'm like, there's nothing there. But I seen this orb. And it's one of those things that, like, you almost intuitively know what was there, but you don't want to acknowledge what was there because these anomalies don't happen unless something is there. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I'm super familiar with the PVS-14. That's what I used in the military. That was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's what we were issued, PVS-14. Most of the Army was still using the PVS-7 back in those days, but we had the 14s, the monocular was. So yeah, I've got a lot of use with that. But I know exactly what you're talking about. What you'll see, what you won't see, or what you should see and what you shouldn't see, should I say?
Yeah, yeah. What do you know what color yours was? Because there's a white phosphorus that I have. It's sort of the early. These are like the newest versions. There was a green one prior to that.
Yeah.
That yours was green.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, they worked, but the white ones really make everything pop.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, this is whatever the military was using back then. It was just the PVS-14. I think it was the first gen because we were the first ones to, like, us and special forces guys. We were the first ones to use them. Like I said, the rest of the military at the time was still using the PVS-7, which was the dual eye with the single.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Those were cool. There's a weird. I'm going to tell you why I started to say that in a second. But the cool part about having the monocular is that once you train your eyes and your brain, you can actually look regular night with one eye, and it'll help you pick up lights. And then when you have your night vision on the other side, it's like having sort of like a dual vision in a way where once you train your eye to do it, your brain can pick up on both of those. It's not too hard to train yourself to do it, but it will fuck with you at first. But that's sort of the upside of having just a monocular one, where now you have your field of vision that you normally wouldn't have if you had just it covering your eyes. You're looking through a tunnel at that point. So it kind of helps a little bit if you have that monocular on.
Yeah, my favorite part about the monocular was that, like you said, you could have this eye open and still see. So when you're moving, especially like military wise, when you're moving through the woods stuff, you can have your other eye open because as you know, you lose all depth perception with night vision. So it's really hard to move at night when you got both eyes covered with night vision because you just have no depth perception. You want to tripping over shit all the time.
Sure.
So yeah, you could always have the one open for close range. I'm looking where I'm going while I'm looking out with the other. It does take time to train, but it's easily doable once you get used to it.
Yeah, exactly. I really enjoy that. I actually haven't used it much too often now. I also have a thermal monocular, which is, if you don't have any thermals, Tom, dude, I'm telling you, it's a game changer.
I don't have any, but I played with thermals back then too, and it was the thermal sights were awesome.
The AGM makes one, and they're only around like 500. I think I got it for a long time ago. I don't know, but it's outstanding because it picks up. I picked up a mouse at about 70 yards moving. The heat signature. So like when it's something that's beyond movement and hiding behind something, super easy to pick something up being there. I started to explain some of that because we're talking about the veil, and this where this plays into it. But there was the original night vision. Instead of it being the white that's being used now and the green, there was a red. There was a red. And there's a story behind why they don't use the red anymore. Have you ever heard it?
No.
I have.
So they gave helicopter pilots this red night vision. And the helicopter pilots, I want to say that this is maybe a nom, or I'm not sure. It was very, very early on.
Well.
Yeah. Say that again?
I believe the story I heard was Vietnam as well.
It could, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it was. But as they were using it, and we were talking about the veil, they said they're flying and seeing flying demons beside them. That this was, and it freaked them out. Like that's why they went away from them. That apparently this was able to see past the veil that we were talking about earlier. That like they were. I mean, if you can imagine a helicopter crew, and this is a new issued thing that they were given to test out on these runs, and then they're in the sky with them, and they're all looking around and seeing what they are calling flying demons around the sky with them. They were freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
So allegedly, they changed the color to something else because it was able to see past that veil that we were talking about.
Yeah. Went to the green because they didn't pick up the demons.
Right. Yeah. You don't have to. You can't see the Dementors up there. So if you can't see them, they're not there. Don't worry.
Right.
Don't worry.
Could you imagine if you were one of those guys that got that pair and we're sitting there seeing that, and then the rest of your life you're just looking around like these motherfuckers.
They're fucking there. They're somewhere.
Yeah.
They're
These motherfuckers are everywhere. You know,
Yeah.
you know, like I can imagine trying to live the rest of your life after seeing that, just knowing these assholes are like right next to you. You don't even know it.
Yeah, right. And I mean, that would freak you the fuck out later
Yeah.
on in life to know that you've seen that, and now you don't have that vision to see it anymore. Not necessarily that you want it, but
Right.
you are well aware that there's a very high possibility that
I don't
there's
know.
other things there.
I don't know that I'd ever give up those goggles. I don't know that they could ever take those away from my hands. There's like no way I could live it up here with all these fuckers are at.
Or at least try to recreate it after the fact.
Right, yeah.
Like, I know you're not gonna use these things. Let me just tell me which dumpster you're gonna put them in.
That it plays into another thing that I had just watched a video on. There's a guy, he's like a well-known demonologist. I'm blanking on the name. But all of the stories that I just said, along with this, it sort of paints a bigger picture as I was talking about, some of the things like even from the book of Enoch. It's not one story. It's multiple stories that sort of start to build this picture where it doesn't mean that it's true, but there's correlations where you go, holy shit, there could be something there.
Yeah.
Now, what he was saying is that people see like aliens and demons and dead loved ones with their own eyes. And when you try to film these things on occasion, when people are able to do it, they do it with a camera. The camera picks up an orb.
Mm-hmm.
And just for an example, he says he has a case study, multiple case studies of this. It's just worth the story to hear it out because it plays into what we were talking about. But allegedly, there was a camera in a room with a girl that was being haunted, and she was saying she was seeing a thing, like some kind of demon entity. It started off being a little girl, but the camera was hidden, and the camera picked up this thing that what she was frightened in the corner, and this orb was there, and she was seeing a demon, but the camera was picking up an orb because allegedly these things can project themselves to you like that, like whatever they think you're going to be most afraid of is
Right.
what they appear to you as, but when they're not able to fool you through your eyes, manipulate the situation and make you believe something is there, it comes across as an orb.
All right.
So you see, there's little tidbits of all of these little things, true or untrue. I wouldn't be able to place it anywhere. Where I start to build this picture in my head, and I'm like, there could be something to some of these stories somewhere. All of that to say, I have seen things in my own life, and I have went through things in my own life, and that's why I'm telling you I am a Christian, and that's why I believe in God. Because the one parallel that typically always happens is that when you are a believer and you call on Christ in these situations, they tend to run.
Right, yeah. That's usually the dead giveaway.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I didn't plan on saying any of that at all. I didn't plan on bringing up any bit of any of that. It was just sort of a whole rant that I went on about all of that stuff of just, a few years of researching and reading some stuff and putting it all together. And then right now it just gets spewed out while I'm barely able to be coherent at all from being beaten by the sun for 2 days.
Yeah. The Jews beat you, not the sun.
The demons, Jew demons.
Yeah. Well, Jews, demons.
Hang on. There's somebody says the baby is getting big.
Oh yes, that's one of Q's YouTube burners.
This fat baby is in the 99th percentile for weight.
This fat baby
really?
is 50 pounds.
Yeah, she's like 21 pounds.
She might be 21 pounds now, but I'm going with at least 20. She was
She was
19,
20. Oh, I thought she was
19 pounds,
no.
5.6
I thought she
ounces.
was 20 pounds
No,
something.
it
No,
was 19.
19.56.
Yep.
So yeah, she's 20, at least 20
At
pounds
least
now.
20 pounds now. Yeah, on the 14th when she went for her 4-month checkup. So
This baby's got rolls on top of rolls on top of rolls.
she looks like
Oh,
a
that's
Michelin
good.
man.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a very healthy baby.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Do you guys use formula?
No.
No,
No, good. See, that's probably why.
That's,
You know?
that's exactly what the
That's
doctor
exactly
said
why.
too. She's like, yeah, she's a healthy breastfed baby. She's
Yeah.
good and chunky,
She's
and
got food on demand.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this is a subject you don't want to broach, but do you get the kids vaccinated?
No,
No,
she has not been vaccinated.
Nope, she got the preservative-free vitamin K when she was born because babies can't make their own blood clots
Hold
for
on.
the first few days. So,
Say
who's that
hello, baby
girl?
girl. Say hello, baby girl.
She's like,
Woo.
I don't know. But yeah, so we did the preservative-free vitamin K when she was born
There
because
we
they can't make their
go.
own
There's
blood
the
clots for
smiles.
like the first week. And just so that way it's not on my conscience that I let my child bleed out. We got that one. But the rest of them we are delaying. That's
Yeah.
that's the language we have to use at the pediatrician's office, but our pediatrician knows I have zero plans on ever doing any of them. That's not. And when he was Hadley's pediatrician, he didn't have an issue with it. Like,
Mhm.
she's at the age when she got old enough for the Gardasil, he was like, "How do you feel about that?" I was like, "Honestly, I don't even wanna do the 16-year-old boosters." He was like, "Delay them." I was like, "Good to know."
Wow,
So,
you're lucky. You
yeah.
guys are very lucky. Having a
we are.
doctor that's willing to do that
Yep.
is rare,
Kinda
I
his
have to
children.
tell you.
His 2 children aren't. So, he's not taking the risk. Why is he gonna belittle patients if they don't wanna take the risk?
Right. Well, there's plenty of doctors that won't vaccinate their kids, but make you vaccinate yours, and
Because
threaten
they
to call the
want them.
cops if you don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they want
Yes.
kickbacks and this, that, and the other. But no, we did
Do
get very lucky with Dr. Cross. The only way I found out about him is because he was one of the pediatricians in the area that took it to Illinois to get the kids out of masks. Like, he sued the state to get the kids out of masks at school.
Yeah, during COVID.
Yeah, and I was like, "Who's this Dr. Cross guy in Morton?" I was like, "Oh, that's who he is. Takes my insurance. How about it? Found my doctor."
I mean, I'll die on this hill. Vaccines are poison.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lived experience. I know for sure that they are. I watched my son change.
Yeah.
And it was the doctor that forced it onto my wife.
Yep.
Same thing, delay it, delay it, delay it. And then, first time mother was like, it was messed up because they were going to throw you out of the clinic. You can't
Practice,
come
yeah.
back because
We're gonna
the
basically fire you as patients.
Yes, and the reason why they do that is simply because they need a percentage of the patients to make money.
Yep.
If 90% are vaccinated, then they get a paycheck off of that. That's
Well,
literally the reason.
it's that, but it's also specifically the state insurance. So,
Sure.
like, they have to have a certain percentage of their state insurance clients fully vaccinated, and that one's at, like, 99. But overall, for the practice, they have to have in the 90th, like, 90 something percent. So,
Yep.
all of the free Obamacare, you know, insurance people, they don't really get to say no. I mean, they can, but the doctors are gonna be meaner to them first. Because
Yeah.
if that number drops, then that's where the big money goes.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and yeah, uh, non-state insurance, it's you have like there's a little bit of more of a grace window in that. Um, but yeah, it's all percentages required by the insurance companies because the second that percentage drops, like they're not going to pay on a flu test, they're not going to pay on a well child check, they're not going to pay anything to you. They're not paying you any money anymore until you get your compliance in order.
This is true. This is true. I mean, it's definitely here's what I'll say is I have two sons. One started to get vaccinated, and because we delayed it, they wanted to give them more than they would normally give it one time. And
No.
that is exactly why he became autistic. Now, that said, he's actually been recently taking a very good turn. We've been working with him. He's been doing pretty well. I have another 2 kids, a son and a daughter, completely unvaccinated and completely healthy. And my daughter was born during COVID with her heart condition.
Yep.
So, the surgeries and all that, and they kept pushing during COVID, we should give her the COVID shot because it'll protect her during this time. And I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, we're not doing
No,
that. Get out of my face.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Not
Um, that was brought up something similar on a show recently too. And even with all the information that came out now about those vaccines, it's like, they should be arresting Fauci and everybody else that was
yeah,
involved with that.
they won't.
Yeah, no,
No.
it'll never happen.
It's
They
funny
should.
because Tulsi on her last day out was like, we found a mountain of evidence that it was all fraud. And then made a tweet about it and left office. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? You
Well,
know?
it's like all this fraud stuff. Oh, all this fraud in Minnesota, all this fraud in California, all this fraud in Ohio, all this fraud in Maine, and nobody's going arrested. Nobody's going to jail. It's like
Bread
we're
and
just
circus.
basically they're basically like pointing and laughing at you. Ah, look, we stole all your money, and they're not doing nothing about it.
Yep. Theater. It's a lot of theater.
Yeah.
But I mean, for whatever it's worth, I never got from anybody that was pushing that vaccine at any point, even after the fact. There's not a single person that ever acknowledged and was like, yeah, you guys were right.
Right.
Which I mean, not that it would matter, but it's like, how about you like be an adult and realize that like you got tricked so thoroughly that you wanted to see family members locked away in camps and can't even apologize a little bit about.
Well, these people won't even admit they got tricked though, because that would admit that they got tricked. You know what I mean? It's not easier to fool somebody than to get them to admit that they've been fooled. You know what I mean? They'll
This is
hold
true.
on to this like you know what I mean, irrationally, just to no, I wasn't wrong. It was you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people are just they're so their egos have gotten so big. You know what I mean? That there's no way you got fooled. I don't know.
I mean, I agree. It's one. So COVID was a thing for me. A lot of people have chosen to forget about it. I've actually seen people say, get over it. Obviously they were vaccinated.
Yeah.
Like online, like in comments and shit. But that was, I, I don't know why there was like this whole place should have been burned down about that. They shut down the country. They made people get things that they didn't want to get, and it's killing people. I'll give you an example that I know of. So my wife's uncle is very much like a father to her. She lived with him and his wife, her aunt, during her childhood. He works at a I'll leave the name out of it. It's a big cellular company. And they made them all get it. 2/3 of the people that he worked with on his crew are dead from heart problems. 2/3. There's like 2 guys left. Him and another guy that they were all vaccinated and 2/3 of them died from heart complications. That's not an accident. Like that doesn't just happen.
So speaking of that, so that right there though, what you're talking about, the reason like where how have we not burned the country to the ground over what they did there is the same reason why no matter how ridiculous and how stupid the government gets, especially if Democrats get control again, you're not going to see a massive uprising. People have gotten
No.
too accustomed to their easy life, and they're just it's not going to happen. If it didn't happen during COVID or after COVID, once all the truth came out, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
It's not
Yep.
bad enough for them in their day-to-day for anything to be worth fighting like that.
Well, not only that. I mean, if you want to be realistic about it, like you could never, like the American Revolution could never happen again.
No.
With the surveillance state and everything that we have, and all the, everybody and their brothers and FBI informant nowadays, like these men would never be able to get together and plan this thing out and get away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to
Yes.
hide out at
Like
the
back in
local
the day, you
tavern,
could
make
hide in the
your
tavern,
plans.
and even if there was an informant there, it's going to take 2 months for word to get back to England, and then 2 months for word to get back from there. You know what I mean? In 4 months, you can do a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you think back to the Governor Whitmer thing, where it was like 14 FBI informants that did like con 2 regular dudes into agreeing to do some stupid shit. And
And
then
they didn't even really even agree to it. They were just like, sure, I guess if there's a big enough group of us, we'll go.
right, but that's what would happen nowadays if you tried to plan like an American Revolution again. It'd be you and your buddy planning it with 14 FBI informants, and you'd wind up in jail.
Yeah, yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. As far as those people that were in Michigan too, like they were mentally deficient on top of
Yeah, yeah.
everything else.
No, they definitely the FBI picks people that are a little slow.
8 of the 10 were FBI agents.
Yeah.
The FBI agents made up the whole plan,
Yeah.
like the entire thing, and
Yeah.
got the dummies
To
that
be like, yeah,
look.
sure.
I just and people ran with that story too.
No,
Like
I
that
know.
was the other crazy part.
I
Like they
know.
were like, "Yeah, look how crazy these people are. They're gonna go try and kidnap the governor." And I'm like, "The FBI did it." Like,
Right.
what?
The FBI found 2 idiots that were just like, "Oh, huh, that sounds kind of cool." You know what I mean?
Just instantly.
That sounds like a good time. I'll come along for your kidnapping.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ugh. But yeah, so it's just between the lack of reaction to COVID and then the fact that you could never plan anything in this world anymore without it being found out. You know what I mean? Like they're surveilling everything. There's no way. Like
Did you hear about Ireland at all? It was probably like I don't know 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah. After the what was the Ireland one?
There was a guy that it was a migrant, and they said he tried to cut the guy's head off.
That's right. Yeah.
Which I don't know that that's the actual facts of it because the guy's face was all carved up and he's actually alive.
Yeah.
But there is a video of him kneeling over him, carving him up like a turkey on Thanksgiving. I don't know that he was trying to cut his head off, but he was definitely carving him up.
Either way, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and it sparked a whole thing, and
The Irish took to the street for like a week, and then nothing happened.
They started a new version of like the IRA and made videos about coming after the government for it. And I'm like, I need to see how this pans out because I don't, I haven't heard anything else of it, but I need to see how this pans out because this is the blueprint. However, the governments react to them doing this, that's their blueprint if anybody gets an inkling. So pay attention to that.
Right. No, I would agree. But that seems to have petered out all of a sudden. I don't know.
The whole thing could have been fake for all I know.
Exactly. And again, you know what I mean? Like they put these news things out there intentionally just to rile people up. So like it's an op on an op. You know what I mean? Like who knows?
Yeah.
Drew's here.
Drew has joined us. How you doing, Drew?
Oh man, what a day it's been. Hey guys, hey everybody. Sorry for the fashionably late entrance. Crazy day, crazy week. What's going on?
Is that the cat?
Nah, this is his sister who's being extra clingy and needy because he's not here. Mimi, come on, you're pulling yourself. Oh, you psycho.
This is definitely a wild show tonight. This is something
all over the place.
Yeah.
She's caught on my
And
shirt.
gets attacked by a cat.
You're hurting yourself, Mimi. Oh my God, you hurt yourself. Silly girl. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, so she likes to grab onto me with her claws and she doesn't know how to let go and she gets stuck all the time.
Stuck in there, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Drew, it's good to see you.
Huh? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Said good to see you.
Good to see you too. And who's this? Introduce me.
Maria.
Maria. Hi, Maria.
Gemma.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah, welcome to the shit show.
This has definitely earned the name tonight. Drew, do you want to tell anybody about what was happening, or is this a private thing? Do you want to keep that private, or do you want to tell the people?
No, yeah, it's not private. Yeah, so sorry if I'm like dropping in the middle of a topic and changing up gears. My boy cat, my male boy cat, her twin brother, on Saturday started behaving oddly, throwing up. lethargic, not really eating much. Sunday, woke up, same thing. He looked like he was in pain. He was miserable, definitely not himself. I canceled my job that I had that day. I brought him to the vet on Sunday. And yeah, Mimi is short for Mia, M-I-A, and I just call her Mimi because I think it annoys her and I like to annoy her a little bit. Long story short, my boy had an obstruction in his small bowel.
Oh, no.
They didn't know what it was. I'm very diligent in the house. I make sure there's no like coins or rubber bands or anything that they could eat, and it was a hairball. Turned out to be a hairball. Hi, Forrest, Mommy. It's the Guinness Book World Records of most expensive hairballs known to mankind. Yeah, exactly. She's about to be 10, and she doesn't understand how to let go.
How much was the surgery, Drew?
Surgery, I think the surgery itself was like 80 something hundred, almost $9,000, which is the IV, the medicines, the hospital stay for 3 days, out the door as of tonight, $11,500.
Oof.
Yeah. And if I don't pick him up tomorrow before 12 noon, I think I'm gonna crest over 12 grand. So yeah. That's funny. Somebody, who's that said? Doofus dog, Drew, stay out of the cat's small bowel, please. Yeah.
It's cute.
We're playing Banger Bucks today because that was a pretty good one.
He didn't, there's no money on that one. But then again, we're not on Rumble for some reason. Rumble dropped it. We're only on YouTube, so no donations.
The vets are out of control, but in fairness, this was a Sunday, and this is a 24-hour emergency vet hospital. So you already expect, to pay more through the nose, more than like a private vet. But I wasn't going to make him wait till Monday. God forbid it got worse, or it developed some other kind of complication. I wasn't going to risk his health and his life. So
let's try something in the chat. Let's just say you had the ultimatum for any of the animal owners out there. If they said 12K, there's a chance it stays alive, or take it home and gamble. Which one do you think people would do? If you're in the chat, give me a 1 if you'd spend the money, and if a 2 if not. Tom, would you do that? Would you drop 12K on the animal, whatever it might be, like your animal?
Man, that's a tough call.
I know. That's why I'm asking it. It is.
That's stupid. That's ridiculous. But I don't know, man. Like, we didn't spend because the rescue that we got Max from fundraised a lot of it. But we had a $8,000 vet bill on him when we first got him. So
yeah, in all fairness, just to point out a couple of things, if it was a type of procedure that could have waited, like, all right, just get it done within the week, I would have shopped around. I would have got a better price, because everybody I know at the animal care center, the rescue center, they said, oh, that place is way overpriced. It was an emergency, and if I didn't get it, there was no taking him home and like just seeing what happened. He would have had a sepsis. He would have had a ruptured bowel. He would have died a slow, painful death. Could he have waited a few more days till I kind of like priced around? Maybe. Could it have led to more damage that may have risked his life? Possibly. And I did most of this on care credit. So I didn't have 12 grand to just go to the ATM. That I would have had to go do something probably.
Most people don't, especially for something like that. Yeah. I think that's sort of inferred. Then again, maybe it's not for some people, but 12, I only present it that way because I don't think you're wrong for doing it. Like, you have a connection with an animal and you do anything to help it. I totally understand. It's just, I know of people that would have just said no. They would have just been like, no, I'm not doing
Absolutely. They would
Yeah,
have
there's
like,
a lot
all
of
right.
people that also don't have 12 grand to put down on a cat.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So it would have been like, are you already in debt for thousands of dollars and maybe can't even get the 12 grand? Or, maybe you don't even want to spend that much money. And the question would be too is, were you even told how much it was going to be before the procedures, because I mean that's another thing.
Yeah,
They
no,
tend to keep going, and they're like, this we need to do the X-ray. This is 500. Now we need to do this other thing, and that's and then the bill ends up adding up.
nah, they won't do anything until you pay 75%. So before they did the x-rays, before they did the surgery, okay, you're going to agree to it. Here's the paperwork. This is the total. You have to pay 75% now, and then before they release the animal to you, you have to pay off the rest of the bill. So yeah, I mean, if I had to like pay all up front out of cash, I would have had to sell one of my kidneys. Yeah, most people, listen, I get it. It's like a lot of people won't spend 12 grand on their own blood, on their own like human person. So I get it. This is my.
You know how much Hope's surgery was? Do you know how much an open heart surgery for an infant is?
120,000,
A million.
$1 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say
A million.
$1
$1 million. When
Yeah,
I got, when I got,
accident,
oh no, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
I was saying, my motorcycle accident, insurance covered almost all of it, but like when I got the itemized bill, what insurance paid was $500,000. So you got to imagine open heart surgery on an infant has to be more than that.
Yeah, like because it just like any other thing, you go in for the first thing, a second thing, third thing, all the doctor visits, all that. It all starts to add up, and over time, like we were looking at these bills, and it's like the surgery was $400K or something like that, and then all the other things because there's follow up stuff. But when you add it all up, it's like $1 million.
Yeah, it's insane. If I would have had pet insurance, because I had played with the idea for a while, like, oh, let me get pet insurance, because I got two cats. There's two of them, and they're about to be 10 years old. I've never had any issue with them, other than like little minor stuff. I kept putting it off. Had I got insurance, because there was a woman in there who had her dog. She was an older woman in her like late 60s, and she pays $200 a month for her dog who has all these pre-existing medical conditions. And to get his surgery for like removing a disc in his spine, it was like 10 grand, but she was only liable for 10%, so she had to pay $1,000. So, I mean, I already looked. I think like just on my quick search, it would be $80 a month for me for the two cats. Not too bad. I would ended up paying like $1,200 for everything instead of almost $12,000. But you live and you learn. That's my son. I don't have any kids. That's my son in feline form.
But also, if you add up $80 a month over 10 years, I mean, are you really making out any? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that might be another good reason why if I do it now, so their second part of their life, if they live another 10 or 12 years, if they live to be 20 something, that's when you might actually need it the most.
Right. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Cats live to be 20?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had an ex who had a cat who was 24 when he died.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's why I did it, because in cat years, he's about my age. So he could live another 10, 12. He's half Maine Coon. Maine Coons are known to live 20, 25 years.
Yep. My brother has a cat named Mr. Whiskers, and he's 3 years older than Hadley. He's 16. He's part Maine Coon. And he's the most indestructible cat ever.
Yeah. So 12 grand, I get another 12 years out of him or more, hopefully, knock wood. If he was elderly, if he was like 18, 19, 20, I could see being a little hesitant, because I'd still be paying the bill after the cat passed away, just of old age.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I didn't hesitate. I was cringing as they were telling me. I was like, I know they're robbing me. I could probably save at least 3 to 4 grand somewhere else, but I'm not playing with his health. It's fucked up. It landed on a day when it's Sunday. Everybody's closed. I got to bring him home. He's already crying. His anxiety's in pain. He's not eating. I'm not playing games with my love.
Listen, if Tom and Emily, at any point, I know with the kid, and we've already been here for over an hour, at any point when you want to go, just let me know.
Yeah, I was actually just about to let you know the baby's about ready to eat some food, and I gotta get to bed soon.
She's about tapped out on patience, and I'm about tapped out on storage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. This was an absolute real shit show tonight, but thanks for being here.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was a great time. Yeah. We will be happy to come back anytime, sir. You just let us know.
Yeah. For whatever it's worth, I'm just going to say it now while you guys are here.
Yep.
Next week, Top Lobster is going to be on with us. If anybody's interested in that. I know how Emily feels about Sir Top there. So if you want to tune in and
Daniel,
get
the
in the
little
comments
furry
and give him some
fur
shit,
boy.
you could be
Uh,
the bane of his existence in the chat if you want to. Banger
no, I
Bucks
won't
will.
get blocked. Nobody will boot me from the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
How
Thought I
exciting.
would tell you.
Um. Oh. Okay, Patrick. I don't. Oh wait, he had like a legit crash out.
Over you?
Wait, who?
No, because we went back and forth the other day in a couple of tweets, and he was talking about how Hotep Jesus is just like a grifter, and I'm like, nigga, that man invented grifting. Of course he's a grifter, you moron. Um, but we went back and forth, and he didn't seem happy with it, but I was just like, whatever. Like you don't get the bit. Um, but if he had a full on crash out about it, I have to call him and be like, bro, are you good?
I did
Uh,
not see that. I
I
cannot
wasn't aware of it.
comment on it, but I don't know.
Hilarious. Well, like I said, I mean, again, if you do not understand Hotep Jesus, please do not try to. He seems like a black versus white race grifter type of person. At the end of the day, he's a supremacist. He's a supremacist. If you want to be the best white motherfucker out there, do that. If you want to be the best black motherfucker out there, do that. If you want to, like, just be so great that whatever anybody else does, like, it doesn't matter. You're not sitting here whining, oh, the Jews keeping me down. Oh, the black man's keeping me down. The white man's keeping me down. Right? Like, you're creating a victim out of yourself, and there's no need for that. And, you know, he's the whole reason Twitter is monetized is because of Brian Sharp, aka Hotep. But anyways, that's hilarious. I'll listen to it tomorrow while I clean.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna go and feed the baby and get ready for bed. But thank you guys for having us on so much. It was good to be on. We haven't sat behind these mics in a long time.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Emily. We're looking forward to your morning show coming back. So hopefully that's a thing.
As soon as I can, I might have to switch it and give up this 5 a.m. slot just to make it happen because the idea of like getting up and staying up at 5 a.m. most days now is
Right.
like, please don't make me. Please don't. I like this really good bit of sleep that I can get for 2 hours. Because like she does a
Understandable.
feeding at 4:30 and then he gets up at 5 and by the time he's getting up I've like kind of dozed off and then we go back to sleep for a little bit.
I'm gonna let you guys go, but I am going to say I am looking forward to see you in the chat next week when Top comes on.
All right. Take it easy,
All right.
guys.
See you
Thanks for
guys.
having
See
us
ya.
on.
All right, guys.
Yep. Bye.
Take it easy. Anyway, Drew, I didn't mean I could tell that they it was that time, especially with the baby and everything. I was reading them, so you were in the middle of explaining something, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good. I was just kind of trying to play catch up because my mind is in like 10 different places. I think I read Forrest Mommy said something about her taking care of that, spending money on like the neighborhood cats. Sometimes you got to do it. Yeah, the blockage is fixable, not like cancer or something. Yeah, and luckily, I paid the extra money for the blood work. His blood came back good. All his markers, other than like a little elevation from him being stressed. They inspected his gallbladder, his intestines while they were in there in the surgery. His insides look good, clear, and no signs of anything. So him being in good health other than this was even more of an incentive for me to just make sure he gets back on his feet. It's not like he's in a position where there's other issues that are gonna make it.
I'm just glad the cat's okay because I know you'd be traumatized if he
Fucking
wasn't.
traumatized, bro. I can't
So
even.
that's a good thing. What is the cat's name?
Nova, Nova, like supernova.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nova.
And he
Somebody asked what the cat's name. I think it was Forrest Mommy asked what the cat's name was. I think in another chat she inferred she was going to pray for him. So
thank
Nova.
you so much. Yeah, I
Nova.
appreciate that very, very much. Anything, prayers, well wishes is much appreciated. Thank you. You know, while you're at it, add his sister Mia, MIA, because she'll be jealous if you don't pray for her. She's very like, Him, not me. But luckily, she's good too. She's solid.
Look
Look at this
look at
guy,
that one.
peanut butter cup.
Look, it's got a Hitler mustache. Can you see that?
Yeah,
Hitler mustache. I had a cable guy in my old apartment. Um, I didn't even recognize it at the time, but he's installing the cable and he's like, "Does your cat have a fucking Hitler mustache?" I was like, "I never noticed it before, but I think it might." Uh, so, you know what? I got that cat many, many years ago when I lived in Pittsburgh. It was emaciated and was covered in fleas whenever the person found it. So I took care of it. Not really like a cat guy, but I don't like to. I don't like to turn away animals that need help. You know,
yeah,
in the woods, we found kittens in the woods on my property before. I took that cat in. You know, just one of those things. Plus, you need a cat on a farm for the mice and stuff like that. So there was another cat that's up there now, and that cat is a killer. I'm telling you, that cat. I find dead moles and mice and chipmunks all over the place.
talking about Pretty Girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's something. She's like a little superhero kind of. She's so small, like she's half the size of my girl cat, who's way smaller than my boy cat. But she's agile. She's spunky. She's got a lot of oomph and energy. She's brave, and she's a doll. She's so affectionate that when I was up there and I stayed there, those 2 nights, she wouldn't leave my side. Like she would leave my side. She'd come back when I went to bed, turn the TV off. She was in the bed with me and stayed there the whole night.
It's I don't even know how the fuck this turned into a cat show, but whatever. I'm telling you, this is a straight shit show tonight. I was trying earlier to get some topics out, and it was like I'm so exhausted that like from all the heat from throughout the day, I'm trying to form thoughts and it's not coming together. But whatever.
You got mind
But
meld.
that cat has it pretty good because it has the best of both worlds. Where it's like when
Indoor.
it wants to be outside, it plays outside, and it has people around, and it likes to kill things, and then it comes inside when people are around, and it likes some people, and it doesn't like other people. Um, the cat will actually, like I go for a walk in the woods, and the cat will walk with me the entire way. The entire, like I'm talking about for the whole acreage. I'm just walking to look for signs of predators and shit, and the cat's just walking beside me the whole way like a dog, the entire time.
Yeah.
The cat shit show. Yes,
Yeah.
I think I might rename it that. We're gonna call that one the cat shit show. Um,
No, yeah, she's great. She's great. She's got it made. She has all the perks of an outdoor cat, but then also like, oh, it's raining or it's snowing. I want to be inside, and she's really got the best of both worlds.
I'm utilitarian, dude. Like the cat has a purpose, but I don't mind it being affectionate. But the cat has a purpose. Like that cat is up there to kill mice, uh, and it's a must-have on property when you have animals and feed and stuff like that. And that cat's a really good fit because it's sketchy. Like there's not a hawk coming out of the sky there that's going to be able to get that cat. That said, there is a Paraguay falcon that they just found that's an endangered species at the far end of my property. You know that bridge that's all
Yeah,
the way down there?
yeah, yeah.
It's living under the bridge. It's underneath one of the things. This is like a couple millions and millions of dollar project that they're doing to resurface this bridge, and then they find this Paraguay falcon. I think that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure. It's not really even supposed to be around here. They don't know where, like,
Oh, it
it's
might be.
one of these anomalies. They had to shut the whole project down. They're not allowed to work on the bridge because there's a nest with a baby in it.
Now everything's stopped. They got to figure out. They got to figure something out. I know it's crazy. Not too off topic. I see Doofus dog. I'm
That's
surprised
cute.
they're allowed to have cats in New York City. Yeah, no lie. I mean, it's a joke, but it's not a joke. Uh,
Yeah, he's right though.
I saw somebody mentioning like, I can't wait to get this Kathy Hochul and this Mandani, like, oh, I'm leaving anyway. I don't care who comes in, but I'm done. I'm done with this place. But yeah, everything's gone up. All the rents, all the properties, taxes. My property tax went up $2,200 from last year. Now I'm like $10,600 for property tax per year Big
It's a
jump.
cat surgery. You're at cat surgery at now.
Yeah, it's mind blowing, insane. You need a permit for everything, so maybe one day they'll want permits for cats and dogs and how many cats you could have, how many dogs you could have. It wouldn't shock me in this shithole. Um,
You know, I don't know how these subjects flip so much, but the Democratic Socialists, the DSA, they're in full control of the city council there now too. So it's not like it's Democrats. They don't even like Democrats. These people.
they use the Democrat Party to infiltrate their way in.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
yeah, the chick in the bra, whatever. I don't even bother memorizing her name. She's like anti-American, let all the criminals out of prison, kill the like defund the cops, kill all like just radical things. That's like, how does this? And now she's gonna have power in Washington, like to you know, as far as New York City or state is concerned. Like, how do these people even allowed to have any voting power, let alone political power? It's just mind blowing.
So yeah, I mean, and I think that Forest Mommy with these comments, I mean, it's worth mentioning this. People confuse a lot of these because it's sort of just what people go to. Communists are one thing, fascists are another thing. So communists, and they're actually a little bit of both, and socialists. But you know, if you stab a socialist, a communist bleeds. It's just the step before communism. That said, fascism is when the corporations take over the government. Communism is when the government takes over corporations. There's a difference, but it still ends up with the people not having any power. And you could say that where it's turning into a fascist state now, the way that the corporations are able to, corporations and special interests, along with other countries, are able to manipulate the government in the way that they get to call the shots. So if fascism is corporations running the government, it's a lot like fascism right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm getting a kick out of is all these stupid communist ideas that Mandani had that he ran and campaigned on. Free buses, you know, free grocery stores. All that shit is crashing and burning already. So now, so when you used to hop the trains, hop the turnstile, now pay your fare for the subway or the bus. If there was a police officer around, they'd chase you down. It would be an arrestable offense. They detain you, write your summons. It was a whole thing. Now the way he got, because Hochul didn't Hochul's not going against him, but she's not helping him. So the way he got around it is he made it a law where now NYPD can't enforce not paying your toll. So right in front of the cops, they're hopping the turnstile, they get going on the buses, not paying, and nothing could be done about it. So he still got his way of free buses, but by increasing the taxes of people who actually have money in the middle class who pays the taxes to still fund the workers who operate the buses and trains, all the maintenance, obviously these things still need maintenance. So he fucked the regular tax-paying people that pump the lifeblood into the city and the working class. And to the people who he offered all this free stuff to, he's looking like a hero in their eyes because they're not intelligent enough to realize it's not free, someone else is paying for it. And it's just a whole shitty system that's going to collapse. It's not going to, you can't sustain it. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's the beginning of the collapse. I mean, once the taxes become unbearable, whether it's giant corporations or individuals, people will leave. And, that's just how it's going to be. I mean, look, in California, it's very similar. It's sort of New York light in this way, but they had the same type of problem in the way that they were trying. They were doing this. I don't know if they're still trying to do it, but if you lived in California and you left, you moved to another state, they still wanted you to pay taxes for California and were trying to chase people down because you had lived there prior and they were expecting, they've labeled this differently, but this is what it boils down to. They were expecting that money. And now that you left with the money that they can't tax anymore, there were people in Texas, this is a couple years ago, that were getting bills for taxes from California and hadn't lived there in a year. They're this is like, to the extent that they will try to extract the wealth from anybody in any way that they can. That's what you'll see something similar in New York in some way. There'll be some flavor of that where they're once the capital leaves and they can't continue this madness, this merry-go-round, this circle jerk of like everything's going to be free, the taxes go up for the roof and everybody leaves. They're going to try to find other ways to do that, and it's just not going to be livable. I mean, it happens in every communist state. It's not any different than anywhere else. They get in, they extract as much wealth as they can to give out freebies to people to get them to get elected, and then once they get elected, the people with the capital leave, and then you're fucked. There's nothing, who are you going to tax if there's nobody there with money?
Well, there was a commercial. This guy, and it's mind blowing because this guy is. I'm not one to shit talk and just say negative things about people, even though I don't like him. But he's really like a weasel. First of all, he's a real wimp. I seen like a video of him prior to his campaign, and he was somewhere, and they were like trying to see how many bench presses he could do, and it wasn't even like really heavy weight, and like he could barely do it. Somebody had to help him, and I'm like, all right, so like you're not disabled, you're not a young child, you're like a 6 foot, 35-year-old guy. You're a fucking wimp. That you're already like, I'm kind of looking at you funny. And then he made this commercial like a month or two ago. He was in Manhattan. He's like tapping on the lens. He's like, yeah, so this rich billionaire, he's got this penthouse apartment. He's like pointing up to it. It's the most expensive piece of real estate ever in the history of the country. It sold for like 80 million, whatever kind of money. And he was kind of calling this millionaire out on it, saying, we got to tax those people. We got to tax him, like trying to stand up for the little guy, that these people in their ivory tower shouldn't have to live like that. That next week, the guy put the apartment for sale because he's got houses in every other state. He's got homes and residences in every other state. He's selling his property and he's leaving and he's taking his business with him. And so there was like a joke on Instagram and Facebook, like, yeah, Mandani's $80 trillion commercial because he just cost the city all that revenue that this guy is leaving. So the chasing out the big revenue has already begun. So now when people like me move, the middle class, lower middle class, come try to fucking collect that tax from me wherever I end up. Like I dare you to fucking knock on my door. You ain't getting a fucking penny.
I'm trying. All I can say is what I've always said: get out while you can. And I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to anybody that is there. Right now, there's an inflated market for the prices of property in New York, and it's starting to go down because of these policies. Get out now, because it's only going to continue to go down, and then it's going to fly down. So if you can extract that wealth from having whatever property you have there, whatever belongings you have there, get out now while you can, and actually be able to make a life somewhere else. Because just like here where I'm at, if I pick this house up and I put it in Pittsburgh, it's $300,000 minimum, only because it's there. If I pick a house up from Pittsburgh and I put it here, maybe 100K or less, right? So like the area is very relevant, and the policies in the area is even more relevant. So like, you figure if you got a house and they're saying it's worth $750K in New York, what that can buy you somewhere else, you could live like a king. But you have to get on that now. You have to sell now while people are still willing to take the risk that New York can turn around. Yeah,
because I doubt, like me, when I'm looking to sell my house, it's a 3-family house. I have family members that I like invested with, so like it's not just my call.
No, I'm not saying you.
No,
I'm saying this is a message to anybody.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking to the audience about. I think when I signed the deal for my house, it was like $500, and again, it's a 3-family house. It's one of the bigger properties. This was me leaving Brooklyn, getting away from like the shitty area and getting into if this is considered a conservative area where I live, if there's such a thing in New York City. Mm-hmm. Suburbish, like very nice houses. You kind of walk outside your house, walk your dog at midnight, go a couple of blocks and not feel like, you're about to be mugged at any moment, even though that could still happen. There's break-ins all over here. Nowhere's really safe. And in the 10 years that I'm living here, I think if we sell it, like, I don't know. And again, it might be like 1.1 at this point, and then I'd have to split that 3 ways. But whatever, if I move to like Pennsylvania, even if it was Pittsburgh, if I take, a $900,000 from, $1 million from a house here and go to Pittsburgh, I could probably get the same house with some space for $450K and still have.
Do you want to tell them what area you're in? Because they're guessing in the comments.
Staten Island, Richmond County, Staten Island.
Okay, Staten Island. Nice. It's actually, it's a damn shame because I've never actually been there, but I've always heard it's the nice part of New York, it's a damn shame.
Yeah, it's called the Borough of Parks. So there's lots of beaches, parks, hiking trails. It's very nature-ish. And it's the bridging borough in between New York City and New Jersey. So to go to New Jersey from Brooklyn, you got to go through Staten Island. Or you could go through Manhattan and go through Jersey. There's those 2 ways. But so it's like that bridge state. So I'm closer to New Jersey than I am to Brooklyn, the rest of New York City. And this is the conservative area of New York by far. And, luckily the property value has maintained. But again, anything, something major could happen. And then who's going to buy it? Again, if the market is, not looking good, somebody may not want to make the investment. But I'm in an area where it's holding its own. We're kind of away from the shit enough. Because there's very bad areas out here as well, not that far. The island of Staten Island is only 14 miles long and I think 6.5 miles wide. So it's not a big island. So the values have been going up steadily, nice. But, anything can change. I'm glad I got the hell out of Brooklyn. My father's property in Brooklyn, he's in Flatbush, Brooklyn, near Junction. So it's not the ghetto, but it's kind of like right by the ghetto. I think since Mandani came into office, he's like $150,000 less in the appraisal value in just that last year. So take that, take that for what it's worth.
Well, I brought up that Top is supposed to come on next week. He's agreed to it. I haven't followed up. I have to follow up. I think he's probably still going to make it. That said, I think it'd be interesting getting you two to talk because he's from those areas, he knows those areas, and I think it would just make for a decent conversation, just you two talking about the places that you both probably know. So I think it's going to be a fun conversation anyway. And Emily in the comments is it's going to add a twist to it, so everybody stay tuned for that one. Because it will be fun. It will be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. Drew, it's been one of those nights when it's like, I don't know how I'm still up. Like, I've been beaten on by the sun all day for 2 days. And, I know I'm dehydrated, and I don't even know how I'm still awake. And then I was trying to talk to Emily and Tom, and it was hard to even form thoughts. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's been a rough one, dude.
You had Charlie Brown syndrome. If you remember the Charlie Brown when he was in the classroom and his teacher was talking, it was just like, wah, 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 wah. Like he just like zoned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get those electrolytes in. I got to drink. So I'm dehydrated. I've been fasting for 2 days. I've been eating back and forth to the vets, like little bits, trying to work out, trying to get back into my exercise routine. So yeah, we could leave it. We could end it on in a minute or so, and just kind of. I'm glad I got to come and chime in and at least show my face for 15.
I have an idea. Since there is people that don't like Top, I like Top. I think he's all right. He's never done anything to me. Banger Bucks is going to be in full effect. I will make sure Rumble is on that stream so that people can do that, and then they can talk shit directly to Top, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it like we're not gonna go crazy. We're not gonna be, we're just. I think it'll just be fun, doing that. one more thing. I thought you would like this, so I wanted to show you this video
Oh shit.
real quick. Hold on one
Bring it full
second.
screen.
Now, this is the type of thing, totally off topic, of anything that we were talking about. However, we talked in the past about, war and people not understanding what happens next. Now, this guy has a pretty big machine gun. I don't know the context. I think this is somewhere in the Middle East, probably in Lebanon. I'm not sure.
So it's
Uh,
probably a Soviet type belt fed.
it kind of looks like it might be an RPK, but I think there's a drum mag. I'm not entirely sure. That said, this guy is going to do something extremely stupid because of what we talked about before, people watching too many movies and thinking that applies to the actual violence and combat. Watch this. They sniped him right in the head.
All those rounds he threw, he didn't hit nothing. It took one bullet coming the opposite way to take him out. A well-placed marksman, sniper who has cover, knows you can't see him and you're just spraying. And he's just waiting for that moment where he could lead the target, pop, done.
I keep trying to stress this. There's a lot of people that have this fantasy about what happens if they go to take on whatever situation it is by grabbing guns and running out there. You're watching too many movies. That guy was watching too many movies. He got real comfortable, and it cost him.
I think he comes from a place where they don't have movies and they don't have an actual military who trains their soldiers. They just hand them weapons and point them up the hill. Because before I kind of knew what the conclusion was as he was spraying, I'm like, let me find out. He drops the muzzle, but his finger is still on the trigger and he sprays the guys in the trench right in front of him. That's kind of what I thought was coming.
Yeah, yeah.
But why would you be so why would you present such a big target?
I mean, he got comfortable in that ditch. That's what happened. They probably to me it looked like whoever took the shot was probably up at a higher elevation, and dude had his head popped up and wanted to be a tough guy, and stood in that position for way too long, and dude got his shot.
That's
So
look.
I only wanted to add that because I thought you would like to do it. I like to see it anyway, and it was actually. He looked like a low IQ something. I think that's
IQ saying
for certain. That's for certain.
there's a lesson learned in there for us and everybody watching. Not like we need to learn that lesson, but yeah, that was just seeing stupidity, and
And that applies, like that situation right there applies to more than just like a gunfight. It applies to even like running your mouth or the keyboard warrior thing or just anything at all. Like just being too comfortable with what you think is okay in especially of a violent environment, right? Like don't get out of touch. You can get touched very easily. You know what I mean? So, keep your head down, I guess, in all situations because, there's always somebody in a position to be able to take you out. So be smart about what you're fucking doing because it applies more than just that. It's pretty much a whole life lesson. Keep your head down and don't be a fucking idiot.
exactly. There's always somebody out there who's bigger, stronger, a better fighter, tougher, crazier, or just lucky. That's all it takes. So
Yeah.
don't go looking for it. If it comes looking for you, be ready for it, but don't go looking for it.
Right. Okay. Do you want to add anything? We got to get out of here. I got to go to sleep before I die.
Shower. I smell like cat urine. My cat peed on me.
I don't even want to know what that smells like. I don't want to think about it.
I need a shower. I got to vacuum. I gotta clean the house. I got to eat. And I'm dehydrated as well. I got to go chug a gallon of water right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll be honest, people. Tonight was rough for me, and I apologize if it wasn't too great. But next week we're gonna make up for it. Shout out to Nova and Maya.
Mia.
Is it Maya or Mia?
Mia.
Mia. Okay.
Thank
Um,
you, mommy.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And I think next week is going to be a blast. Stay tuned for that. Get in the comments whenever Top comes on. Look, have your fun. Don't cross any lines. I don't want to, he's a guest on the show. All right, stay tuned for that. You guys have a good night. That was the shit show.
Thank you, guys.